I'm Kieran Jackson, or 43 Hyperactive is my artist name. And yeah, so I'd just like to introduce Mike Keys. He's a music director, producer and musician. And I'd also like to introduce Grant Burnham. And he's a front of house sound engineer. First question for both of you, so if you just like pass the question around, answer however you feel. Could you tell us a bit more about your work in the music industry?
Okay, that's a very big question, but I'll say I've worked in a lot of the industry, but my main focus and the majority of my career has been in live production and live music, and in the production world, and songwriting world. Yeah, that's been my main focus.
And what about you, Grant?
My main focus was in the studio before I got into live, and now it's just live front of house, and I've been doing it for about 12 months now.
Nice. Okay, so when did you realise you had a passion for the industry? Like, when did you know this was for you?
Yeah, I'll take this one first. Music's always been my passion. Growing up listening to music, my parents always had it on. Grew up in the Caribbean, and that's a big part of Caribbean culture as well, the music. So it's what I studied at university, but after leaving university I did nothing with it. I got caught up in that 9-to-5 life, chasing the money, and then I got to 30 and I was like, I want to do what I want to do now. So just quit everything and just started just as an apprentice, essentially, down at Matchstick Pie House in Deptford. So yeah, I think when I got to 30, about a year ago, that was when it all clicked into shape for me. Yeah.
Got you. What about you, mate?
For myself, I would say, I wouldn't say I genuinely had a passion for music. I just always knew that whatever I wanted to do in life, I always wanted to be the best I could be at that. But my passion grew with music throughout the years, but I would say once I started learning the keys around 17, about up until 20, that's when my passion for music kind of grew the most.
Okay.
For it, yeah.
Nice. So leading into the next question, when did you realise you could make a career out of your passion for music?
I would say, when I was 20. When I was 20, that's when I kind of knocked on the right doors.
Okay.
I shot my shot, I sent a few emails out, and
emails to who? Like, who's you?
Just a couple of people here and there, some industry labels and some A&Rs and just some artist managers, just to see what projects they've got going on. If they wanted someone just to come in and be involved, and people were kind of waiting for people to kind of send those emails, but a lot of people are scared to do that. But kind of roll the dice and just gamble and say, okay, cool, I'm gonna go for it. And that's what kind of happened, and it opened the door for me. Yeah. So about 20 years old, yeah.
Nice. And what about you, Grant?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think about a year ago for me, when I realised that sorry, excuse my French. every band out there needs an engineer, and a competent one at that. So yeah, I just took my time learning, actually on the job, which I find is the best way for me to learn. There's different learning styles out there, but for me, like, stick me in the deep end and I'll sink or swim. And so far, I'm just keeping my head above water.
Nice. Okay, so it says here, could you like give us like a timeline or like a pathway of like how your career's gone from like the beginning to where we are now?
Yeah, I could date it out for you because it's all fresh for me. So I started just as an apprentice to a guy called Lorenzo, who engineers for Steam Down, and he essentially took me under his wing and taught me everything he knows. I always say this, and then he says, no, just the good stuff. Just the good stuff. And then from there on, different venues around the Borough of Lewisham just heard about, Grant, he's a good engineer, you can have him for a night. And then it was going from 1 night a week to 2 to 3 to 4 nights a week engineering around the Borough of Lewisham. That's essentially how I started, yeah.
Cool, nice. And what about you, mate?
My journey, I've tried a lot of different things within the industry. So I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Basically, I started off as a gospel musician, started playing in church, as a lot of musicians do sometimes, and I've done the gospel circuit, and then it kind of opened my doors to doing artist projects. So I started meeting up with new talented artists, became a A&R scout for Universal, and then I was A&Ring, and then I became an artist manager. Then I started getting involved with touring and being a music director, and was a full-time musician, been a full-time musician and producer, and now I'm just a consultant in the music industry.
Okay, so you really gone through all of the sections and sectors?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So was there any like hurdles or barriers that you had to overcome to get to like where you are now?
I would say for me there's been a lot of hurdles, personally and just environmentally as well. Like you find yourself in spaces that a younger version of you would never find yourself, think that you could be in, or any time in your life you might think, oh, that's a bit too far away from me, like so, too far from my life.
Got you.
But once you, as I said, knock on the right door or kind of knock down that door, you kind of find yourself in a space where, oh, do you know what, it wasn't that far, I just had to kind of just stretch a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? So there's been a lot of hurdles, but you also find a lot for yourself as a person. You grow. You sometimes find that you have to be a lone wolf in this, and you have to really just take your environment and know, I need to learn and take what I need for me. And then when you need to be in a pack, you can be in a pack, and you can use everybody's skills to kind of grow and, you know, become who you want to be in this life, basically.
Yeah, I think just picking up on what you said there, knowing yourself really and knowing what makes you happy. And it took me until I was 30 to figure that out. Like, but yeah, music is what I want to do, and front of house specifically makes me happy, and that's when, you know, I just ripped the band-aid off and jumped 2 feet in, you know. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And as far as hurdles, the only hurdle really was myself. It was not realising that this is what I wanted to do, you know. And then technical stuff, turning up each week and finding a different desk in front of you was challenging as well, and learning how to use them. So they all do the same thing, but they're all designed completely differently, and I don't get it. I don't understand why. Just to make my life difficult. And I've got half an hour to change over and figure it out. So yeah, that's the challenge, an ongoing challenge.
It says, so what do you like enjoy most about like what you do? Like what makes you wake up in the morning and want to go to work? Like what is it that draws you to your work?
I enjoy the problem solving aspect of it. I describe sound engineering as problem solving at the end of the day, because the mix is never right until it's right, and until it's right you have to problem solve. So I find working under pressure is where I work best, and that's what I enjoy most about it. And yeah, there's all cool stuff about going on tour and travelling around and going to different festivals, but a lot of that is sitting in a van, cold, eating food you don't want to eat. And yeah, no, that's the part I enjoy most about it. It's the problem solving, and yeah, it's good when people come up to you and say, "Oh, that sounded really good tonight," and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you."
It's a sense of achievement.
It's just the little things like that, you know.
Yeah, it's big. Like, jumping on what you said, it's just the little things, like when someone says, "Oh, like the way you played today kind of resonated with me." It's like, "Oh, do you know what? Thank you, I appreciate that." Like, but I'll say for me, every day is just growth. Like, growth is the biggest thing that's like, it excites me. It's like, oh, what am I going to learn today? What am I going to kind of revisit today? What am I going to do that's going to make me kind of appreciate my life and every day a bit more? Yeah. I realised that, as you said before, happiness is key. Like, so we've got to do things that make us happy, and if I can be excited about, oh, I wonder what's going to make my day today. Like, okay. And just those little things, and then, as you said, like, someone saying to you, oh, that show, the way it sounded was amazing. And it's like, oh, do you know what? I took a little bit extra care today. You know what I mean? Like, those things, they make you feel good. So, yeah, I look forward to that.
So, like, kind of carrying on, like, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself? It kind of applies more to you than you, but like, what would you, what advice? Oh no, it works for both of you, I guess. What advice would you give to your younger self?
I'll tell myself, accept the help around you.
Okay.
As when I was younger, I was very stubborn. And I was very like, oh no, I can do it by myself. I teach myself. I do I don't need no one. But then you come to realise that there's a lot of people who kind of you meet on your journey that want to support you, but you kind of don't let them in because you want to protect your gift or protect what you think is yours. But those people are there because they actually really support you and they want to be invested in what you have going on. So it's kind of just like allow those people to be there. Allow those people to help support you. Allow those people to, like, if you need to eat and you're trying to make a production, you're trying to do something, let that person make you food. Like, those little things will help, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's one thing I tell myself, just accept the help.
Yeah, I'd echo that and just say, just open up yourself to feeling a little bit vulnerable at times. Like, you're not going to know it all from the start. Someone has to teach you. You have to learn somehow. So just be open to learning. And yeah, stop being so stubborn. That's what I'd say to a younger me. Yeah.
Like, what advice would you give them to help them like start their journey?
Find yourself in an environment like this. Find yourself. I can name a few. Bars around Lewisham who are taking on apprentices in sound. I'm actually mentoring one at the minute, which is really cool. So yeah, just find yourself in these spaces, show that you are keen, show that you are reliable, turn up on time, ask a lot of questions, show that you're keen, and yeah, people will open up to you and teach you.
Same on that, is whatever part of aspect or role you want to be in the industry, just do your research on it. Just literally type in on Google, where did these people go? And you'll find out where those people go and where they're at. And if you want to connect with them, connect with them. There a lot of people are very open. They just seem very far away. I said, just stretch out your hand a little bit more and you get whatever you want in this life, honestly.
Cool. And so that's all the questions I got here, but I'll ask some questions now. What's going on in you lot's lives? Like, what's coming up for you lot? Like, what's coming up in the next year? What's your plan?
For the next year, finishing out festival season this summer with 2 bands that I engineer for, Steam Down and Bob Villain. And then we're off on a US tour later on this year. And then I have a month in the Caribbean in January. That's my year. And then I guess building up probably another tour next springtime, and then into festivals again. And fingers crossed, this is going to be my cycle of life, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to the Caribbean with you.
Okay.
My plans for this year are, I'm enjoying life and I'm enjoying music. Got Glastonbury this week. Yeah, kind of been looking forward to that. It's been 3 years since it's been on, so obviously this year is going to be crazy. And then I'm just looking forward to I work with Coach Radical a lot. We started together and he's doing very well. And I'm very proud of his progress. So kind of just been doing that this year. That's our main focus. Released the album this year. It's done very well. Got 11 in the charts, so congratulations. I'm just having fun this year. Doing a lot of consultancy work as well. Okay. So getting involved in things a lot more like this, and just obviously wanting to reach out to people who feel like, as I said, that things are far away, where people aren't like we're here, where everyone's a human being. Reach out, touch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
with consent. But yeah, that's it, really. Yeah.
Got you. So I want to say where do you think you're going to be in 5 years? But it's do you see yourself taking where you are now somewhere different, or you're happy where you are? This is the position in the industry you want to stay in, or?
Nah, I'm definitely taking. As I said, life is for living. For me, and not saying do it recklessly, but I want to do other things as well. Music has also taught me that it's a big world. It's connected to so many things. So there's so many things you can explore within it and with it. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff with property as well. I'm starting to get into it.
Cool.
Yeah.
5 years for me, I think I'd want to have more studio time, work on my studio engineering as well as the live, so, but definitely keeping the live, do it while I'm young, you know, and then move off into studio life in my later years.
Got you.
It's a lot of late nights.
Big late nights.
Yeah. So what we think we'll do is we'll let you guys ask these guys some questions. We're still waiting on someone to turn up, so we'll ask them some questions as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, guys.
What advice would you give a music producer that hasn't released anything and is planning on releasing something? What's important?
Releasing for yourself? Or?
Yeah, for myself, like my own album featuring other artists and stuff like that. What's important to bear in mind?
I would say, just like I said, do your research on it. Get your PRS sorted, get your PPL sorted, know the business behind it. Understand, okay, cool. Are you releasing it with artists on it as well?
Yeah.
So are you gonna cut them in with the master royalties?
Yeah.
Are they registered? All these little things.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have a song that goes and blows up. You haven't registered it properly. Someone comes in and then they just go, oh yeah, I'll just do that. And then, because it happens a lot. I've seen it a lot. So I would say just understand the business of it, but just do it though.
Yeah.
Don't let the business of it intimidate you in a sense of where you're like, oh no, this is too much, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Just be like, okay, cool, I need to get this sorted. I know this for now, so let me do this. As I said, life's a gamble, roll your dice, and have fun with it, you know what I mean?
And if you're not sure about any of that PPL, PRS stuff, there's tons of stuff that you can find out on YouTube. There's a company called The Floor that has like workshop on it. So, Josh in the back there. Yeah, they have workshops on that kind of stuff. So yeah, ask a lot of questions. Just be really sure. And then promote it on your social media, that kind of thing. Get the artists who are on it to promote it. And you'll be good. Yeah, go for it. 2 feet in.
Hi, I'm Charlie.
Sorry, so just quickly, I'm just gonna introduce. This is Charlie Deakin Davies. She's a she's a songwriter, producer, and artist.
Thanks. Also, I'm non-binary as well, so my pronouns are they, them, but thank you for the intro. Sorry,
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, so I feel like anyone's job in the music industry is kind of like this, in the sense that it is just made up of a cacophony of random jobs, and you were in this band and then you met this person and suddenly you're like MDing this show and stuff like that, and that is very much how my career sort of started out. I was in like a bad like Mumford & Sons cover band when I was like 13, living my best life, and we ended up like writing our own material and stuff, and then we, at the age of like 16, we got picked up by Island Records, so it was like off SoundCloud, like classic back in the day. So we started working with lots of major record labels, and for me, I got like thrown into studio environments, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. So then I just became a massive music tech nerd, and I turned my shed into a studio, and then it kind of span out from that, and I got kicked out of school when I was 17, so I just sort of was like, I'm going to do music. As you know, everyone like decides they want to do, and then I ended up winning a few awards for my music production, and then at one of the award shows I met Fraser T. Smith, who is like this like legit really sick producer. You should get to know Fraser T. Smith if you don't. But he was working with Gary Barlow at the time, and this is like, I'm torn about this part of my career. Because like on paper it's like factually good, but like it's Gary Barlow. That's so much shade. I shouldn't. This is literally being filmed. Sorry, Gary.
Hashtag sorry, Gary.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I had the most incredible time, because he then hired me to work as his private writer producer for 2 years in his studio in Notting Hill, which was like half the pandemic and the year before that. So it's just been like mad, the stuff that I ended up doing working on that project. And then now I have my own studio in Tottenham, and I now do a lot of MDing, which is musical direction, which is where you work with acts on their live shows and like converting it from studio into live. So I'm literally at Glastonbury like all weekend. I'm starting tomorrow because I'm working with a few acts there. So it's gonna be sick. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. That kind of sums up like some of the things. I'm a songwriter as well, so
Okay,
like,
yeah.
But there you go.
No, very exciting, very exciting. And, the question I have next is, did you have to overcome any like hurdles or boundaries?
Yeah. Well, I think everyone faces their own issues getting into the industry, but I think one that was like a problem from when I was like 17 to 24 or 25, which was like being seen as a woman in the music industry and being a female record producer, although it is like it was a real advantage, honestly, but it did come with its like downsides. And then the other thing is I came out as non-binary like 2 years ago, and then I have moments that it's so not your fault, but like being misgendered like at panels and stuff like that, and also people just not knowing what that means or anything like that. So I ended up actually launching an organisation at the beginning of this year with my friend Max called the Trans Creative Collective to try help educate and provide opportunities and things like that. So that's kind of
it says here, how difficult was it for you to get your first job in the industry?
I was like so lucky because the first thing I ever recorded was this like EP I did for free from like, I was like really heavily on the folk scene, the Mumford & Sons thing, and just recorded this person called Helen Chin, and like, yeah, it's just not the best recording I've ever done, but I was quite proud of it. And then I would go to open mics and stuff and find artists, and the second artist I worked with, so I was 18 when this happened, one of the tracks got played on Radio 2. Nice. So then I became like the youngest producer to like have something on Radio 2. So then from that point that was just on my CV from when I was 18. So then I ended up just like, that was so and then I would just go to open mics and just find clients, and then I would just incrementally charge a bit more, and then any money that I got I would just invest straight back into the equipment again, and then I just built my studio up from there.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So
what do you enjoy most about your work?
Free Diet Coke. No, I think as you can probably tell, I have like ADHD, so it's like so intense. I love lots of variety, and I kind of see it as like a dynamo between working in live sound and seeing shows live and seeing how artists are performing it, seeing what got the crowd going, seeing all of that stuff, and then going to the studio and being like, okay, how do we then bring that hype into the tracks? Like, how do we make the recordings sound to the level that they'll sound really good live? And then I'll do a whole batch of touring, and then I'll be like, I'm never going out again, and then I'll be in the studio and I'll be like, this is the best thing ever, and then I'll be like itching to be back on the road again. So it just constantly like, I meet loads of people and it's really lovely.
Okay. What advice would you give to a younger you?
It's always what would you give to a younger person, like who isn't you in the industry, not like to you, you know, like.
Okay, so yeah. Either way, what advice would you give to a younger person or somebody else that's trying to potentially be in your shoes?
I would say release the thing that you're worried about. Do your first release, because although with this like serious amount of pressure from social media and needing to blow up on your first thing or whatever, like you just need to start getting better as soon as you can. You literally can only do that when you release something and then start getting feedback on it, because you can spend forever in the studio, ever making the perfect campaign and everything, and it just flops because like you don't actually know what you're doing. So like, just, I mean, like I have so many tracks out, or even, do you know Venby, the Lowdown track? Like, I don't know if anyone's heard that, but it went like pretty big on TikTok or whatever. Like, it's technically her first single, but like I've been working with her for years, and like she had like this whole other artist project, and then when Lowdown like popped off, they were just like, you're gonna have a new artist name, we're gonna relaunch you. So it's her first single. Like, it was independent though, like, to be fair. So I think that, you know, you can always do that, you can always rebrand, like, if you need to. So yeah, just start releasing. We'll see what happens. Get it out there.
Got you. So yeah, that's all the questions again.
Just
so
speed run that.
So it's mainly like, for me, it's like when someone comes with an idea and they want extra advice around it. It's kind of like project management kind of thing, but without being too heavily involved in the project, for me. So it's when someone says, oh, I've got this artist, and can you come and help kind of kind of A&R and direct them or spend some time with them, have a conversation with them, get them to understand and kind of just see what would that artist need. What are they missing? What's the thing that, like, you can see that they're trying to get, but they just can't get through to yet. And I've been able to kind of see that in people, so that's kind of what kind of things I kind of do. And yeah.
Cool. Any other questions? Oh, got one at the back.
Can you recommend any kind of organisations or charities that will give grants towards studio recording time or anything like that?
Yeah, I know the Roundhouse Fund. They do some things. They give time away. Also, Young Guns. They're also an organisation that help people kind of understand a lot more about the industry, and they also give out some grants, small grants,
Small green shoots.
Small green shoots. PRS, they also do a lot of funding. Yeah.
The Floor as well.
The Floor as well.
The Floor,
yeah,
they have a creator fund. Yeah, they have a creator fund. I think they offer up to £5,000 for a project. So, yeah, I reply to that.
Cool. Question?
Two.
Go on,
So
you can
one
ask
of them was like, how do you like build like a following? Like, how do you like increase your following? Like, not being like a beg, but like, 'cause I hate like beggy sort of activity. So like, I'm just thinking, what's a good way to increase the following? And also a question for you. Obviously, when you've like changed your identity and everything, but when you were a female in the industry, did you find it like harder to like, because obviously I want to try and do like production and like engineering for people and for females to make them feel more comfortable, because obviously sometimes I don't really want to go to a man at like 2 o'clock in the morning because they might move a bit weird. Do you know what I mean?
No,
and like talking through experience, it has been a bit fucked up. Sorry. Oh God, sorry. Sorry.
It's been done already.
Sorry. But yeah, I just wanted to like know your experience and like how to work around that. So that's my 2 questions. Yeah. Thank you.
I think with regards to following, I'm struggling as well. I think being consistent, is one of the things on social media, and that is just something that I
It just comes across as jarring, though.
It is.
Like,
I can't be bothered. You're
You're
posting again and again. I can't be bothered with it. But it is something that it is a tool, and if you want to use it or want to get the best out of that tool, then you kind of have to play by the rules, you know. Yeah. That's not something I find.
And algorithms.
Algorithms.
Yeah.
You've got to learn about the Instagram communities. And like, I know you can do like promotion and stuff on there.
You can, but stuff without that promotion, just study your analytics and see when your posts do the best, when it's the busiest time for your followers, that kind of thing that you can do just by yourself if you're not already. Yeah.
Okay.
I think also on the content thing as well, think about what you would like to see. When you are on social media and you're scrolling and you're seeing posts and stuff, what kind of content do you like? And when you're putting out content, think like, do I actually think this is an interesting post? Like, you know, like, because that's what other people are going to do when they're looking at it. So it's like, you might as well just like, you could post a lot if you actually felt like it was interesting content, you know, like, and that's how people get a lot of, because it's a bloody art. Like, it's such an art to post good content. So like, you know, everyone's trying, but you're trying your best.
Yeah. Like if you see something that annoys you, take notes and just like make sure to
Don't do it.
Well, that's a really good point though, because also if you don't like it, then the audience you're trying to hit probably won't like it either. So like, it's like just kind of monitoring that really. I think with the studio stuff, I think it's been incredible the growth in gender diversity in the music industry in the past 5 years or so. Because I started doing studio stuff when I was 17 and I'm 27 now, so it's been 10 years. And I actually got my first job in a studio when I was 17. Someone just like took a punt on me, and I honestly like I'm so lucky. Like, but I have had like studio experiences, and I actually, it's really sad, but I don't know a female record producer that hasn't.
Doesn't that just break your heart though?
Yeah,
it's just like
it does. And a lot of the time it's because the men in the environment literally just don't realise that what they're doing is
not all men.
Yeah,
not all men.
Yeah, no, there's definitely there's you know, I'm not saying that, but it is just 100% of the women I know. So it's like
How's that work out, though?
yeah, exactly. But I'm always so tentative to take that stance on these things because I see it mainly as a positive thing with where the music industry is going.
Yeah.
Like it is hugely different. There's organisations like 2% Rising, Women Produce Music, Women in Live Sound. There's a lot of women-based stuff. Women in Control, that kind of stuff. The TCC, which is a trans creative collective, our ethos is inclusive, not exclusive. So literally everyone is welcome to be a part of it, no matter what your identity is. You just need to like not be transphobic and like problematic, and you can be a part of it. Yeah. So. But yeah, I think honestly, do not be deterred. And there's so many amazing producers coming through that are like, obviously there's lots of them men, but like so many that aren't men, and it's a lot of self-producing artists. Yeah. And do you produce yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, sometimes. Yeah, it's really like difficult to do sometimes, but I'm bearing with it. Like I only started doing it like 2 years ago.
Amazing.
Because we all went Brits, so that's how we know each other.
Oh,
so we're all sitting together in a little
bit.
Yeah, and then like I just slightly just wish I did like sound technology.
You always can.
Or, like production in like school time. Do you know what I mean? Because I just did performance and focused on performance, but I should have.
You can still learn like massive, like you can learn
like YouTube and stuff. It's very useful.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I've been watching disclosures things through him, thanks. Through like watching like disclosures and how they like do their producing and stuff. So it's really interesting. But I'm just trying to push forward.
I think
and learn.
The thing that I don't want to hog the mic too much, and I'm so sorry that I am, but like I think that we are in one of the most interesting times for music production, and I think it's the combination of the pandemic and TikTok. And the reality is, because so many people had to learn to produce themselves during the pandemic, there is suddenly this whole different genre and different mixing styles and everything, and these archaic systems of you have to mix it like this and you have to do it in this speaker, in this room, whatever. It's like bullshit, because you're looking at tracks like Venby's track and it's got 10 million streams in 3 weeks, you know, it's like, and no one cares that was or wasn't mixed in a certain way, they just like it. And it's like, so if anything, you are actually the pioneering front of music production, because you are going to be setting the tone for what is cool and what is interesting, and other people are going to have to follow that. So you should see it more like that, like, you know, like rather than you're not doing good enough. It's like, I'm part of the change. You are part of the movement that is music production of 2022. You know.
I like that.
Any more questions?
Angie's got a question here, but she's lost her voice a bit, so I'm going to say it for her. What advice would you give to someone who has a passion for music and dreams, but people around them are discouraging them?
Find some new friends. No, believe in yourself. That's what I would say is the main thing. Know within yourself that you can do it, and do it. Yeah.
It's you versus you in this world, man. So your environment can be very crazy, but sometimes it's that little glimmer of hope that you give yourself could be the thing that changes your whole life. So kind of just hold on to it and don't let it go, and just go for it. That's what I say.
Quiet as I've been the whole time. No, it literally is. The key thing also I think is just go to more environments where you think you're going to meet people that are going to be in the same like camp as you. So like go to gigs, go to those things, start chatting to the people, chat to the sound engineers, chat to like the techs, the band members or whatever, and just start making those connections with people that are going to see you for how cool you are, you know?
You'll find your tribe. Like that's one thing. You always find your tribe. Like if you stay consistent with it, with yourself, and it's not an easy journey. Like you have waves. You have some great moments. You have some really bad moments. But it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the fun of it. And I think throughout the journey, you find your tribe. You find the people, as you said, like that you connect with. And I think if you can put yourself in some new environments that challenge you and also make you a more happier person, then go for it. I'll say that.
Cool. Any more questions? Yep.
So for anyone, how did you create your own community? Was it through like online methods or local people or friends or school or whatever?
I think it was through Steam Down for me. My sister's the bassist in Steam Down, and she introduced me to the engineers there. And I think, yeah, if it wasn't for my sister, I don't think I'd be sat where I am now. She really forced my hand into it. She dragged me down there and she was like, look, you talk to him, and you two just do stuff. And here we are a year later. So that's how I kind of found my tribe. I was forced into it. But really, really lucky. Yeah, really, really, really lucky. And I thank her every day.
Anyone else want to answer the question?
Yeah, I'll say, like, for me, I kind of bombarded one specific area where I knew music was thriving at the time that resonated with me, was with Shoreditch. It's kind of a bit area now, but it is one of those things. And I kind of just was there, like, religiously nearly every day. Just because, just being there, like, it was just something that kind of resonated with me, and I found my tribe through that. I found the people that I really connected with, and I was around some really incredible people at the time, which I didn't really know they were incredible because they were just people I knew around. But they turned out to be really good, like really incredible and really amazing, doing incredible things. So I think I just bombarded a certain area just because that was just me. I was stubborn like that.
But yeah, just to pick up on that, you were there every day. It's about that consistency. So if you're gonna do it in person, then do it in person every day or as much as you can. If you're gonna do it online, comment on the post consistently, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
facts.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah, they didn't want me in the area, but it was good though.
You were there, you were present. They had to sit up and take notice.
Yeah,
right?
I was in every venue.
Yeah, it literally is that. Like, mine was definitely through like trade bodies. Hello. I found out about the Music Producers Guild, which is just so, like, anyway, yeah, it was really great, and I still love the people there. But like, I found out when I was 17, and then I was like, this is like the best thing ever. So I'm gonna like try to do anything I can to be part of it, and I just went to every MPG event that there was. And then I found out about other trade bodies like the Association of Independent Music and the Featured Artists Coalition, all these other things, and they all do these like crossover events and everything. And I was just always there. And then I got put for, I don't know if you know Laura Marling, like the folk artist or whatever, but when I was like 19, I got put into session with Laura Marling to produce something for her, but that was because the board director of the MPG just recognised that I was always there and just thought, you know what, I'm going to give you an opportunity, you can have a go at doing this session. And then that again like added to my CV so heavily, like, that I then could do other things. But with the creation of a community, literally didn't have a trans community at all until January of this year, at least that I knew of. And that was and the way we kind of like launched that was because me and my best friend Max, who is a trans man, we have been friends for 8 years, and we met at the Natural History Museum when I was doing sound. Like, of course, so go there and go ice skating. Yeah, we just happened to become friends, and then we kept bumping into each other loads and loads, and then we would go to panel talks like this, and we'd be like, oh, it'd be really cool to see like a non-binary person or a trans person, and then each year would go past and we never would, and then we eventually went like, oh damn, we're the ones, aren't we? Like we're gonna have to do it. Yeah. And so then like for Trans Day Visibility last year, we were like, we're going to do something. We're just going to, like, why not? And so then I contacted Abbey Road Studios and said, hey, what are you doing for Trans Day of Visibility? And they were like, what have you got in mind?
On the spot.
Yeah, and I was like, so why don't we do a documentary with an entirely transgender film crew, artist, engineer, producer, and everything? And they were like, yeah, sounds great. So we, from 2 weeks from the idea, we managed to get the whole crew together, film it, and edit it, and release it for Trans Day of Visibility. Wow. And then we did this panel tour. It was insane, but we were like really hardcore about it. And then me, Max, and Nelly were kind of like the core group. And then we spent 8 months developing this concept for the TCC, the Trans Creative Collective. And then in January we launched, and oh my god, the response we got, like, because it was just us three, like, we literally didn't know anyone else, and suddenly all of these people come out of the woodworks. They're like, actually, I'm non-binary, or I use like he, they, or she, they pronouns, or like, oh, I just never thought I could do. That I could be out as this, especially a big section of people that have come out now are female record producers who felt like, or female drummers or female guitarists or whatever, that felt that they couldn't come out as non-binary or trans because suddenly all those opportunities would be taken away from them, because it's one thing being a female whatever, it's another thing being a complete gender minority. So suddenly the TCC just popped off and we have like a few thousand followers now. We put on events, so we sell out all of them straight away, like all of this stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's just mad. And we've now like collaborated because we're partnership with Ableton now, and we did a big thing with Avid, and like, I don't know, it's just like, it's just mad. But the connects that I had were because I'd spent the previous 8 years like bugging Ableton and bugging the MPG and like everything like that. So when I'm like, here's something that we can collaborate with, they're like, yeah, sounds legit. Like, anyway, that was a really long answer, but I hope that's helpful.
Any questions? Yes, Rob.
So basically, I like to do basically. Me as a person, I do 2 different things at once, but I don't know how to balance it sometimes because I'm still at school. But I like doing film, I also like doing music production and drumming, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I picked up a bass today, started playing it, and me and my friends just started jamming to Red Bone. I don't know how, yeah, it's just weird. So I just want to know how, if it's possible to balance two of those things at once.
Yeah, I'd say if you're still at school, still do it all if you can.
I'm at Brit, or like those guys, I'm at Brit. So
right, okay.
I think, well, I'm finishing my GCSEs. I've got my last test like tomorrow. So
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck.
I said to myself, as soon as I'm finished, I'm gonna be on my grind all summer.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing my own videos, but I can also like produce music to go with it, so I don't have to get arrested for copyright.
That's extreme.
I'm not trying to show up on the courthouse. Yeah. It was mad because I made like a proper banger in my house the other day on my laptop. I was like, how did I do this? I woke up at like 11 a.m. Like what? Yeah, it was mad. And I played it on like my big speakers because my mum has big speakers and stuff. So I used that. Put up to like full blast. I think my whole world heard it. I was like, yeah, let me just play this real quick. And my friends were like, no, that is mad, that's cold. So yeah, I just want to know if it's possible to like, I don't know, have a life while mixing those 2 things together, because obviously I need to have fun in life.
Nah, that's very key. Like, for me, I would say that have a life as well. Like, don't disregard it, but it's part of your journey, isn't it? Like you're at a time where you're about to take the world on in a completely new way. So just have open arms and just be like, alright, cool, come for me. Cool. So yeah, man, like I would say enjoy it. Like you sound like you're in a very good space, and it's kind of like, I like hearing that. It kind of makes me feel good because I like meeting people who are excited about music and excited about just where they are in life. And I think wherever you are is in a good place, and I think keep going. Just allow yourself just to. You'll find your balance. Like you find some days you're like, I don't even want to touch.
That happens naturally. I wouldn't
let it be. Don't feel like you're a bad person because you haven't touched your thing. But just understand that if you do want to be the best at a time, then you have to kind of be a little bit diligent sometimes. Yeah. But just enjoy life, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
Enjoy life. You're young. Enjoy it. Especially this summer. Enjoy it.
It's gonna be the first summer I've had in like 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't put no pressure on yourself too much, man.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm just starting out as a front of house engineer. I've just finished a course with Neo and Romancer. So I learned like all backline, tech, everything. I thought I really wanted to do tour management, but it turns out I really enjoy sound. So I'm just starting to shadow different people at different venues. But I kind of want to know what venues in the borough that I could contact to do the same, because I've got like different things lined up, and I still want to like dip my hand into tour management, production management, and stuff like that. But I'm really like loving sound to live sound, so I just want to know like how to go about doing things in my borough kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can talk to you about a few, Amersham Arms, New Cross Inn, Matchstick Pie House.
Does it have to be venues that I like or don't like? Because I am not 20,
yeah.
and I realised quite late what my passion was.
Yeah.
And there are certain venues I cannot step into anymore.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, I guess we
cannot,
could.
but I refuse.
Yeah.
It's not for my energy.
I'm done with that venue. Yeah. I think with sound engineering though, you're gonna come across venues like that where it's like, oh, I've got to go there. Okay, and you hood up in, get the job done, get out. You know. But yeah, no, I could talk to you about a few venues and give you some names and numbers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Are you also interested in doing touring sound and like backline tech stuff, or do you want to stay venue based?
Don't know.
There's like one of the biggest like dry spells in engineering backline tech in the industry ever at the moment.
Yeah.
So you like if you wanted to do touring stuff, like, I mean, I'm literally like having to turn down jobs and like pass them off to people because I just can't take them, because I do live stuff as well on backline tech. So
I do
like,
enjoy backline.
Backline's fun, isn't it? It's quite satisfying. But yeah, no, I mean, if you don't want to, then no. If anyone, hit me up, anyone's looking to do some work, like, I'm going to pass someone. But yeah, no, the live sector is actually absolutely popping up right now.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's begging for someone right now.
Mm-hmm. Just literally, like, can you just set this up at least?
Yeah.
Like,
can you plug that mic?
I did a course in RF a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got shadowing a TM at Skunk on Sunday, and someone needs an RF on Sunday, and I was like, I can do it.
Yes, that's so
somewhere.
good.
I'm just thinking, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Like, I've only just finished the course, and then I'm just getting like all these things, and my course leader keeps sending me things. I'm just like,
that's how it goes.
Jump in. Deep end.
Because the thing is, like, you like at the beginning of, like, I say for my journey, I made so many mistakes. You don't even want to know the things I was doing. But no, like, you just kind of have to roll with it, because that's the only way you're going to learn. Yeah. Like, same way you tell a child, like, if they fall over when they first walk, you tell them to get back up and try again. Same thing, that is one of the fundamental rules of life. Keep getting up and try again, just keep going. So, just roll your dice, as I said, roll your dice and see what you roll. Like, I think, from the sounds of it, you'll be good. You'll be alright, don't worry.
You're smashing it. The fact you've even like done courses and stuff.
Exactly.
Like more trained up than
Any last questions? No, we're good? Okay, so thank you very much for everyone coming today. We have this room until 7:30, so you can stay and there's like relaxed networking. There's drinks, refreshments. If you could, speak to one of the Borough of Culture staffs. There's a QR code that you need to fill out, or you don't need to, but we'd appreciate if you fill out the evaluation form. And so thank you very much, guys, for your time. And yeah, that's it. That's everything.